We can talk about unjust wars. It's like the weather. We can talk about it. There's nothing we can do about it. So this is the patience we need of a condition we cannot change. But we need the courage to change the things that we can. So my personal challenge to myself, and inshallah to all of you, is we live in a predominantly non-Muslim country. Almost 96-97% are non-Muslims. So we come into touch with non-Muslims every day, at work, at the marketplace, at the airport, wherever you go. And so you are the billboard for Islam. And if you show your Islam, and people who come in touch with you realize you're Muslim, they see your akhlaq, they see your behavior, they see how you interact, they see your honesty, they see your decency. This is a form of dawah that we can do. And if you advertise your Islam, many good people will ask you things, because I have personally experienced that. From co-workers, from people in the marketplace, from people in a mall, I have been asked questions about Islam. Just because I advertise my Islam. I try to wear t-shirts that have some Islamic theme on it. I have a t-shirt that says, I pray with somebody in ruku. And that's a conversation starter. So it's every day we have to do dawah, every day. And we have a lot of co-workers we meet on a regular basis. We have neighbors we need regular basis, but they don't know who we are. And we cannot blame them if they misunderstand who we are. So we have to interact and change things that we can, which is within our power. So that's the first letter of dawah. The second letter is A for activism. Every prophet, including our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was an activist. Our prophet was proactive. When he saw injustice, he worked to remove it. When he saw oppression, he worked to remove it. When he saw someone hungry, he tried to feed them. He was an activist. And all of us must have that vision. Every one of you, young, old, men, women, doesn't matter. All of us have to be activists in our own way. Because it is really important. The enemies of Islam want to paint Islam as a foreign religion, worshipped by foreigners, worshipping a foreign god. And what we have to do is correct that misinformation. Islam is an American religion, the worshippers are Americans, and we worship the one true God. It may sound very simple to all of us, but we are practicing Islam in the masjid and not in the marketplace. And that's why there is so much misinformation about us. Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu said, those who are ignorant of us are easily opposed to us. Those who are ignorant of us are easily opposed to us. There is a lot of ignorance about Islam and Muslims in the world today, in this country. And it's not necessarily by accident, it's by design. If you look at the books that talk about Islam in the high schools or in the colleges, it's very minimal. The teachers who are teaching Islam in high schools and in colleges themselves don't know much. Sometimes they are biased. So there's very little information about Islam and Muslims, our culture, our history. That's why there's a lot of ignorance. And Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu said, those who are ignorant of us are easily opposed to us. If you look at the Pew Research, that 6 in 10 Americans admit that they don't want to do anything with Islam. They don't know anything about Islam, they don't want to learn Islam. 6 in 10. But the same research says younger Americans, which is 18 and younger, want to learn about Islam, have a more positive image of Islam, and have Muslim friends from their schools. So all these young people here, you have to be our dais in the schools and the colleges. It is incumbent upon you to advertise your Islam. But the same Pew Research says that 55% of Americans have a negative view of Islam. When it comes to favorability, the highest is Judaism at 63%, and Muslims are even below atheists. Atheists are at 41% approval, and we are at 40%. So these are numbers that they're telling researchers. So it's something we can learn from them. And in Europe, the numbers are even much worse. So we can say, we have to do some work. But the rank and file says, we're very busy. The shaitan, he loves it. He loves when Muslims are busy because he can cause mischief and know that there is nothing to stop him. There's nothing to stop him. Now, AMCC Dawah Committee, we teamed up with Why Islam. We did a fundraiser in September, and we put billboards on the I-4 corridor. We put 4 billboards last Thursday. We've had 5 different TV channels interview us, and the Orlando Sentinel interview us about the billboard campaign that we're doing. They're going, why do you want to tell people about your religion? What? They were surprised, they're shocked. I got 5 different TV channels covering us and the Orlando Sentinel. Because there's no Muslim voices out there. They only want to cover negative things about us because we're not proactive. So they said, are you doing this because of the Paris attacks? I said, we do not respond to criminals. We do not respond to criminal behavior. We do proactive work. And we as an ummah have to do that. If we have such a great religion, why are we not sharing it with others? If we are such good people, why are we not showing them to others? What is stopping us? We can do dawah 24/7. There is no law against it. But we are choosing not to do it. We are choosing not to tell others about our religion. To young people who are in schools, don't change who you are. If your name is Muhammad, tell everybody your name is Muhammad. Don't shorten it to Mo. Because this is an opportunity that we take pride in who we are. That we do not hide by giving our names like Max or John to hide our true identity. It's an opportunity we have to do every day. Every day we have to tell who we are, all the time. So be proud of who you are. If you're with a group of friends and your mom calls and she says, Salaam alaikum, don't say hi mom. Respond wa alaikum salam. Because in Surah An-Nisa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands us when somebody gives you salams to return with a bigger salam or at least the same. So when you're giving the salams back, you're following the commands of the Quran. The third letter of the word dawah is worship. Every prophet that came worshipped Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so must we. If you look, and if you're a student of history, you will see that Christians became the leader of progress when they became less Christian and more secular. Look it up in history. They became leaders of progress when they became less Christian and more secular. And Muslims were the leaders of progress when they were more Islamic and less secular. So we have to become more Islamic. But we live in a world where atheism is on the rise, religion is on the decline. In 2007, in the United States, 78.6% of Americans claimed to be Christians in 2007. And in 2014, it dropped down to 70.4%, almost an 8% drop in 7 years. So less people are claiming to be part of a religion. Last week in the Orlando Sentinel, 25% of Floridians claim they don't follow any religion. 25%, 1 in 4 claim they do not follow any religion. So when we benefit from living in this country, we also have challenges. Our young people are coming in touch with people who do not believe, people who are atheists, people who are agnostics. And like everything else, our community is not immune to it. So we have to increase our worship. We have to set the example at home. All of us know Muslims friends, family, extended family, who are cultural Muslims. All of us know that. It's only going to get worse because the society in general is becoming less religious. So we don't want that to happen to our families, our friends. So our job is to invite them, to speak to them kindly with a good word, encourage them to pray, to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is incumbent upon all of us. We don't want to lose our families. We don't want to lose our next generation. Because as America is getting less religious, it is affecting the Muslim communities also. We want not to limit ourselves to stay in the Sirat al-Mustaqim. We want our children in the Sirat al-Mustaqim. We want our families in the Sirat al-Mustaqim. We want our friends in the Sirat al-Mustaqim. So I do dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to stay in the Sirat al-Mustaqim. Aquli qawli hada wa astaghfiruhu innahu huwal ghafurur rahim. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad kama sallaita ala Sayyidina Ibrahim wa ala ali Sayyidina Ibrahim innaka Hamidun Majid. The fourth letter of the word dawah is A for attitude. Attitude is so important when you are doing dawah. Our Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had a very positive attitude, very positive demeanor, very gentle demeanor. And so our attitude must reflect that we love this religion, that we are proud of this religion, and that we want to share it with people we love, people we come in touch with. We want to share with all humanity. So attitude is incredibly important. If you have a positive attitude, people can relate to that. People can see that. People can see that you truly believe in what you're saying, that you're not just giving it lip service. And why should we have a good attitude? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us over and over and over again. He's given us intellect. He's given us health. He's given us wealth. He's given us freedom. And our attitude should be, oh Allah, we are so blessed that we want to share these blessings with our communities, the ones that we live across with. And so attitude is really, really important. If we do not have a good attitude about our religion, people can see that. If we act like second-class citizens, people will see that. As a Muslim, you should act like you're a first-class citizen, because you are a first-class citizen. You enjoin what is right and forbid what is wrong. So that's something for us to be proud of, that we do not lie, that we do not cheat. Our attitude should be that this religion is making me a better human, a better humanitarian. And that's why my attitude is so positive, that I feel blessed that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen me to be in part of His religion. And that's the attitude we must have. And attitude is really, really important for the success of our religion. If you go to the library, you will see 2 or 3 books on Islam or negative on Islam. If you pay attention to it, I have, go check it out. Any library, you pick a library of your choice. Whether it's a high school library, a college library, Seminole County, Orange County, doesn't matter. Barnes and Nobles. If you look at the books, out of 3, 2 are negative on Islam for 1 positive book on Islam. Do you want to do something about it? There are awesome books written on Islam in the English language. Go buy some, donate it to the library, and make sure they put it in circulation. It's secret, the libraries will not tell you that if you do not check out the book in 365 days, the computer will kick out the book. So if you're going to donate a book, make sure that every 365 days at least it gets checked out once, so it stays in circulation. We have to have people of knowledge. We have to know. So our attitude should be, there should be no hungry citizen in Central Florida, no homeless person in Central Florida. That we should be the ones that makes these changes. If we go to feed the homeless, you're advertising what your religion is talking about. And this is what we want people to see, our religion in action, not just by words. We don't want to just talk the talk, we want to walk the walk. There's battered homes for women, there's orphanages, there's many, many things we can do to do dawah. And so this invites people, be approachable. If you're approachable, people will come and ask you about your religion. It has happened to me over and over again. And it's very easy. So when you're doing dawah, don't be defensive. Don't get angry. Somebody says something insulting about the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, show patience. They say something bad about the Quran, show patience. Because your attitude is really important when you're doing dawah. You cannot have a bad attitude, you cannot be angry when you're doing dawah. Dawah is an invitation. You invite people. You do not invite people with anger. You invite people with the best of courtesies. So your attitude must be very, very positive if you're going to invite people to this great religion. And the last letter of the word dawah is H. H is for hard work. It is so important that we work hard for our religion. All the prophets, nobody called them lazy. Our Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was a very hard-working person till the day he died. He worked hard for his ummah because he loved his ummah and he worked hard for it. So must we. If you look at the Quran, it talks about inheritance. Inheriting your wealth, how should it be distributed? All of us want our children to inherit our wealth. All of us, without exception. Because we want our children to have a good life after us. And we want to give our wealth to our children. But we also want to give Islam to our children. We want to give the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to our children. We want to give the love of the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to our children. We want to give the love of the Quran to our children. So the status quo is not good for our children. This Islamophobia is not good for our children. This discrimination is not what you want your children to inherit. This marginalization of Muslims, you don't want our children to inherit. There may be thousands of resumes with Muslim-sounding names that do not get called for an interview because of discrimination or hatred or marginalization that we cannot even count. These things are affecting our young people. Whether it's admission in college, whether it's getting a job, whether it's getting a promotion, all these things are interrelated. Islamophobia is not just in the media, because people live real lives. It's affecting people in real lives. And so we have to be working hard to change this image. We cannot allow this image of Muslims as radical people, as marginalized people. We cannot allow that to happen. We have to say something has to be done. We're going to do something about it. We are not going to let our children be marginalized like we were. I was a teenager in the 1970s. I did not face a lot of these challenges that teenagers today are facing. So then I feel that I had an advantage that these young people today don't have, because they are feeling marginalized and they're seeing the hatred, and we are, as an ummah, collectively responsible to change our condition, collectively. And if we all do dua, if we all become activists, if we all increase our worship, if we all improve our attitudes, if we all work hard, maybe in a few years, maybe in a decade, you will see the sticker, a bumper sticker that says Islam is peace. It will actually make sense. People will could relate to that Islam is peace because of the actions of all of us. Lots of people are open-minded. They just have not interacted with us. So we cannot practice Islam in the masjid and at home. Those days are over. We have to practice Islam everywhere. Show our Islam at the airport. Show our Islam at the marketplace. Show our Islam everywhere, to our neighbors, everywhere. Everybody must know that you're a Muslim. We are truly a blessed ummah. We live in the richest countries in the world. The richest country in the world, and we have the best standard of living of any Muslim ummah in the world today. We have the highest standard of living of any one given ummah anywhere in the world. If we have the highest standards of living, we must have the highest standards of giving. If we have the highest standards of living, we must have the highest standards of giving. We must give of our wealth, we must give of our talent, we must give of our time, our effort, our energy, everything we got. We say, oh Allah, you gave me so much. You increased my standard of living. The least I can do is increase the standard of my giving. Oh Allah, help us spread the word in the best manner. Oh Allah, help us to become better Muslims. Oh Allah, remove laziness from our lives. Help us to dedicate our lives to serve our families and our ummah. Oh Allah, do not let our hearts deviate from the truth now that we've been guided. Oh Allah, grant us mercy. Oh Allah, help us to perfect our prayer. Oh Allah, accept our prayers. Oh Allah, forgive us and our parents and all believers until the day of judgment. Oh Allah, help the refugees and their families. Shower them with your mercy and help us to help them. Oh Allah, increase us in knowledge. Oh Allah, give us the wisdom to apply the knowledge. Oh Allah, make us more compassionate. Oh Allah, help us to be more tolerant. Oh Allah, help us to be more patient. Oh Allah, help cure the sick. Oh Allah, decrease our disability. Oh Allah, decrease our shortcomings. Oh Allah, we acknowledge the blessings you've showered upon us, and we acknowledge our shortcomings. So forgive us, for none forgives sins but you. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wa salamun al mursaleen. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Inshallah, I'm going to make a few announcements here. Sister